Quattro 3 trilogy from Brother. So without doing anything else, you're all set to sew. All you need to do is put your fabric underneath. You have a presser foot lever back here that's actually inactive right now, but the easy way to work this is you have buttons on the front of your machine. Right here is your presser foot button. So if I push this, the foot lowers, but now your handle is actually active if you would prefer to use this one. I'm telling you about this now because I will be using the presser foot button on the machine instead of the lever in the back. It's just a little more convenient for me. So now we're all set to sew. All you have to do now is just step on the foot control and it starts stitching. Now just like on other machines and like your car, you push on the pedal hard, it goes fast, push on the pedal slow, and it goes slower, and you can do it whatever you like. Now, there's another way to control your speed. You have a slide bar right here, and it's on all the way to the right. That means it can go up to 1,000 stitches per minute. If I want to prevent that from happening, all you need to do is slide this over. Now, even when you push on the foot control as hard as you can, to press it down to the floor as low as it will go, it still won't sew that fast because I have it set for slow. So this is controlling the top speed of your foot control. Now you can change this while you're sewing. You don't have to stop and start. You can just make this at whatever speed you would like it to go at, and it will stay there, and then you can still have control of the machine at whatever rate you want to go. Now when you stop, your needle stops down and the foot stops down. And this is like most machines that you've probably worked on in earlier years. You have options. On this machine we have multiple options. We have a scissors here. If I push the scissors button, the thread cuts and the needle comes up, but the foot is still down. Then to raise the foot, you can again push this presser foot button and the foot comes up. Pull your fabric out and you notice the tails of your thread are pulled to the wrong side of your fabric. Just watch, I'm going to start sewing again. It stitches. When I stop, the needle's down. If I would choose to not have the threads cut, like say I want a longer tail for some reason, I can use this button to raise the needle. Now the foot's up, raise the presser foot, and I can pull this out and I'll have my long thread tails like we've been used to for many years. I can use that same cutter that we used earlier when you threaded the machine to cut your tails. So that option's always open to you. Now, if you want to have your stitch back stitched, let's get this out of the way. Let's turn this around here. I'm going to lower the presser foot and I'm going to start sewing. Now, if I want to do back stitch before I stop, this is your reverse button. Just push it in and it will go backwards for as long as you hold it in. When you let go, it goes forward again. So it's up to you how much of a back tack you want to have before you then stop. And now you can choose to stop whichever way you want. Scissors, or bring the needle up and have the tail yourself. I prefer to use the scissors and then bring up my presser foot. My thread's cut, my stitch is reinforced, and my tails are pulled to the wrong side of the project. Now, you might be wondering about this button right here that's red. This is what's referred to as your start-stop button. In order to engage this button, which lets you sew without stepping on the foot control, you have to disengage the foot control. Now, you don't even have to remember that, because if I lower the presser foot and I want to go, if I push my green button to go, my screen will tell me that the start-stop button does not work with the foot control attached. Remove the foot controller. Now, to remove the foot controller is very, very easy. Just look at the right side of your machine. There's two white cords. Pull them right out. The message goes away on your screen. Now my start-stop button is still green. I push green, and there we go. It will sew at whatever speed we have this set at without stepping on the foot control. Stop, and take the fabric out, whichever method you choose. I'd like to show you my favorite. On the machine screen, we have a picture of a presser foot with a needle through the foot. It's actually yellow. When you touch it once, it will turn orange. This is what's referred to as the pivot feature. Now watch what happens when I sew. I'm going to turn this around and get started, give myself some room. When I sew with this, it looks all similar just like you saw before. You can go in reverse if you like. Now this time I stopped, notice the foot came up. Foot's up, needle's down, so I can actually turn my fabric, go again, and the foot lowers and starts stitching. Watch that again. Stop, needle down, foot up, turn the fabric, go. Foot automatically lowers and goes. Now I can reverse, so I get a back stitch. Foot comes up, but now we need the foot up, we need the needle up, we need the thread cut. All we need to do is put one button, and all three will take place. Now watch. Here's your scissors button. You push this. Thread cuts, needle comes up, foot comes up, pull your fabric out, thread is secure, and the tails are pulled to the wrong side of your project. There's many things on your screen, but I'd like to explain to you the first 4 stitches on the top row. Now we're going to start with the first one, 1-L1, and you know you're on that stitch because that's what the number is right here. So that's the stitch that is selected. I'm going to lower the presser foot and just stitch a little bit. Now when we're on 101 and you push the reverse button, the stitch actually goes in reverse. Okay? And notice that the needle is in the left position here. It's not in the center of the foot. That's the 2 things you need to know. Left position, and when you push reverse button, the machine actually sews backwards. Now if I select stitch number 1-02, you'll see that it changed here. It still says straight stitch left. The needle's still in the left hand position. Now when I stitch and I hit the reverse button, what happens, the difference is here. It will get me a tie in place instead of the back tack. Okay? So that's all fine and good. I'm doing the scissors to bring it up. Now I'm going to do the same thing here using stitch number 103. Touch 103, so the needle has jumped to the center needle position. And if you look at the top, they have the 2 little lines. So it says 1-03. That means when I sew and push the reverse, it goes backwards. Touching 104, it says 104, straight stitch still in the center. I stitch, hit the reverse button, and again you get the tie in place. So just a real quick, 1 and 2 are left needle position, 3 and 4 are center needle position, and you look at the top of the stitch to see how the stitch will react when you push the reverse button. Your choices are back tack or tie, back tack or tie.